1,000 points of Deathwatch versus Necrons. This is game 3 in our slow grow campaign, and with that our mission this time around is Burn and Pillage. That's from the open war deck, and Burn and Pillage, I place 3 objective markers in my deployment zone, Tim places 3 in his. If I score one of Tim's objective markers, it's destroyed, it's raised off the board, and vice versa. Whichever side destroys their opponent's 3 objective markers first wins. So there's no Kingslayer, there's no First Blood, there's no Slay the Warlord, there's nothing in there. It is simply just whoever can destroy those objectives. So with him bringing all of these robotic skeletons, those large squads of troop choices with the reanimation protocols sitting on those objectives, and of course Deathwatch having a very elite army with small numbers and short-range shooting, I'm interested to see if I can push him off his own objectives while securing my own. But I am bringing a Redemptor Dreadnought, so I may deep strike him. Spoiler alert. What I'm looking for in this though is I'm bringing a battalion, Tim's bringing a battalion, so that gives us a lot more stratagems that we get to play with. Hopefully we get to play with a few of them that you haven't seen yet. So looking really forward to this. It's going to be dynamic. I hope you enjoy it. For game 3, my Deathwatch army, I'm bringing a battalion. This comes in at 998 points. And my first HQ and also my warlord for the army is the Watchmaster. His warlord trait is Lord of Hidden Knowledge, and that states that once per battle, if your warlord is on the battlefield, you can re-roll a hit roll, wound roll, damage roll, or saving throw. In addition, every time I use a stratagem, if he's on the battlefield on a 5-up, I gain a command point back. His relic is Tomb of the Ectoclades, which allows me to change his tactics and another unit within 6 inches of him to a previously picked tactic. Moving on from that, I also have brought, I know it looks like Captain Artemis, but no, it is just a normal watch captain. But he has a relic blade and a master crafted bolt gun. Moving on from that, my veteran squad is a 7-man, and I've added a second frag cannon in there. 4 of the guys have bolt guns, and the sergeant has a power sword and storm shield. My first Primaris squad is just a 5-man with the bolt rifles, and my beefed out Primaris squad there has 5 guys with auto bolt rifles and the plasma, that my 4-man plasma, let me spit that out, of Hellblasters there. They are bringing the Assault Plasma Incinerators. And then there is the Aggressor. And the Aggressor then will allow them to advance and still fire their weapons at no penalty. And rounding out my force is the Redemptor Dreadnought. And he is bringing the Onslaught Gatling Cannon. He's bringing the heavy onslaught Gatling cannon, the Icarus rocket pod, of course his Redemptor fist for close combat, and the frag storm grenade launchers. I'm going to try and get cheeky and drop him down via deep strike, and hopefully he brings enough firepower to delete some stuff off the board. Like I said, a battalion, so I'm going to have a bunch of command points to play with, and I'm hoping that we can start to see some serious synergies with Deathwatch here, so excited to see what happens. 1,000 points of Necrons. You're taking a battalion detachment.
I am indeed.
Take me through it.
Well, the death marks are conspicuously absent. They have gone the way of the dodo. What we're looking at, we have 2 HQ choices now. We stuck with the crypt deck. Now we have a lord, who is my warlord and has the Veil of Darkness with a war scythe. Then for troops, we got 3 of them now. We have our regular 2 10-man squads of warriors, plus a group of 5 immortals. Ignore the Tesla carbines. Those are Gauss blasters. Can you tell?
Very good. I can't tell the difference, so.
I can just say whatever they are and you have no idea.
Yes, you could.
Then we got back here. This time they're actually painted and kitted out as
nice
Hyperface swords and dispersion shields. So
Very
those
good.
are actually legit finally. And we went with the 2 destroyers and the heavy destroyer again because they were fun.
It's a good combo.
And we added in the Triarch Stalker with the heat ray.
I'm excited to get microwaved.
That's gonna be fun.
Awesome.
I'm doing Mephier Dynasty again.
Okay, very good. And now you're up to 8 command points.
Yes.
So should have some fun with that.
Oh, there's some good stratagems they have.
And this is the table after deployment. Tim, you won the roll-off and picked Dawn of War, and you picked this side over here, so I deployed first. But we'll go through the Necron side first. You placed one of your objectives right under the Trarch Stalker there, next to the tractor pulling the crane. Yep. You've got your Lich Guard next to them, and your Destroyer. Oh yeah, the Lord. There he is.
Look, Jumpy McJumperton.
And you put your destroyers out front. Yep. And then over here, back to your old Astra Militarum tactics.
I played them for a very long time.
On your other 2 objectives, there's one right there, and there's one right there. You put all of your troops choices. So yes. 25 guys plus a crypt tech. Mm-hmm. Neat. Over on my side of the table, I've got my Watchmaster. I've got one of my Primaris squads, the 5-man. I've got my veteran squad here next to a watch captain, and in the teleportarium I have the larger Primaris squad that has the Hellblasters in it and the Redemptor Dreadnought. So with that, I deployed first, or finished deploying first, so +1 to my roll. Your dice hit mine and made it a 2.
It's going right for combat, brother. Let's do this.
Alright, are you going first?
Yeah, I think I am.
He's going first. Should I seize? Yeah.
You probably should try, yeah.
That's still a 3.
Yeah.
Alright, Necron's turn 1. Necron's turn 1 movement. You moved your Triarch up. You jumped up your Destroyers. Your Lich Guard sat still, scoring that objective, and your big blob stayed blobby. Necron's turn 1 shooting. Well, the only thing that was within range and could see was your heavy destroyer shooting at my veteran squad over there. And he shot.
There was a ping.
He wounded. And I've got a pesky storm shield hidden in that veteran squad. And he made it.
I don't like it.
I love it.
I don't like it at all. No.
Deathwatch turn 1. Deathwatch turn 1 movement. I shuffled out my watch captain. And my Watchmaster, my Watch Captain, also moved over, and I just moved up my frag cannons and one guy to be able to take a look at the destroyer. Deathwatch turn 1 shooting. Is that really what happened? Is that what happened?
Everything is still there.
Because the Watchmaster shot in. I used the Kraken Bolt to get a little bit extra range on your Triarch Stalker, but he failed to wound. And over here, the 2 frag cannons, they wounded with 3 of them into your destroyer, and it's a -2 AP. You needed 5-ups.
I rolled 3 5s. I had your luck.
You rolled 3 5-ups. And then my 1 veteran there shot in as well, but failed to wound. Yay! Necron's turn 2 movement. Your Triarch Stalker has moved up. Your destroyers jumped into this cover here. It is, but it's 8th edition cover. Yeah. What did you use over here for these guys?
I used the Veil of Darkness, which is you pick up the Warlord and a unit within 3 inches, and you can place them anywhere else on the board.
Essentially redeploy them. It's essentially a deep strike. So you were clever. You placed them right next to these guys, and I was going to use Auspex Scan, a stratagem to shoot them when they arrived, but you've placed them so I can't actually see because I've hid from you so well.
You hid from me very, very well. You did.
So, but now they're on my doorstep. That's great. That's great. And your blob?
Still blobby.
Still blobbing.
Still blobby.
Necron's turn 2 shooting. Well, a little bit more damage was done there.
A couple things happened at least.
So the destroyers shot in and were able to chip off 2 of them.
Yep.
I started making saves on my regular vets, and then I made a couple on the storm shield, and then the heat ray also shot in from the Triarch, and I failed my save with that. I burned a command point to keep my veteran sergeant with storm shield in the mix. So that squad is still there. But 2 down, that's expensive for Deathwatch. For Assault, you actually,
That was funny.
since I can't see, I can't Overwatch.
Right, so it was a kind of a free assault.
It's a free Assault, and it would have been a long Assault.
Yes, it would have been a 9-inch assault.
But
I rolled a 3.
you rolled a 3.
And command pointing any of that would not have helped.
It would have been pointless.
Yeah, that was.
You should have.
It was a good time to pooch a roll, though.
There was. Deathwatch turn 2 movement. I've moved out the Primaris squad and Watchmaster over this side so they can shoot at the impending doom. I've consolidated my group out here so now everybody can see. They're taking on the destroyers no matter how fruitless that effort is. My larger Primaris squad arrived from the Teleportarium, and my Redemptor, who is scoring that objective. So that is pillage and burn at the end of the movement. But I'm kind of in the middle of all of the Necron shooting. So good job, Redemptor. You did your job.
Burned one objective, and now he's going to eat some fire.
Now you're just going to die. Deathwatch turn 2 shooting, and that was some good shooting. Some actually, it was up and down. It was really up and down. But the Primaris squad shot in on the Immortals, and I split the plasma shots, and I 2 of the plasma shots going into the Immortals and 2 going into the Warrior squad. That wasn't good because it left an Immortal left.
There was one stubborn immortal that would not die.
So I then had to take my Redemptor, and I put his Icarus rocket pod and his Frag Storm grenade launchers into the stubborn Immortal.
He survived the rocket pod.
He did survive the rocket pod, even though I did wound with it.
Yep.
But you made your save.
Finally did.
But yeah, the frag grenade launchers took the Immortal out, and then I dumped the heavy onslaught Gatling cannons into this, what was it, a 7-man squad?
At that point, yeah.
Yeah, and I ended up with 10 wounds. You had to make 10 saves at -1 AP, so that's a 5-up save for the Necron Warriors.
Made 3 of them.
You made 3.
Just enough to kill everybody.
If you had made one more save, those guys would have still been there. And then over on this side, this was hilarious. Okay, so I moved these guys out. I shot in the Primaris at these guys. I used the Hellfire round, which wounds them on 2s. They have a natural -1 AP. I thought that was going to be great, but at the beginning of my shooting phase, you used a stratagem. What was the name of it?
It was the Dispersion Shield stratagem. And what it did is it increased the invuln save to 3+. The fun part is that any invuln saves I made of a 6 caused a mortal wound to the attacking unit.
So I put 1 wound through on your Lich Guard, and with the Dispersion Shield stratagem going off, you did 6 natural 3-up save, or you rolled 6s for your 3-up save, 3 of them, which ended up taking 1 mortal wound on my Watchmaster and killing off one of the Primaris guys. So I took 3 wounds from my shooting phase, and you took 1.
I like it.
I don't.
I totally think that's
I think I learned a valuable lesson today.
I'll run out.
Turn 3, Necron's movement. You jumped up your destroyers, moving them right up here.
Keeping them in cover and getting the AP.
That's right, the Mephra Dynasty bonus for being within 12 inch, or half your shooting distance. You brought up your Lich Guard and Overlord, moving up towards this objective here. Gosh, I wonder what you're going to do with them. And over on this side of the table, you shifted over your Warriors, and you also shifted over your Cryptek, and you brought the Triox Stalker back towards the poor Redemptor. He did his job.
Redemptor, oh my god.
Feel bad for him.
Yeah, I pity the Redemptor.
I mean, he's seen a lot of stuff, man. Necrons, turn 3 shooting, and, well, it's getting bloody back and forth here. The Destroyers shot into the squad, killing everybody but the last frag cannon. Yay! Over on this side, the Triarch Stalker shot in with his heat ray. He did a focused, and he 2d6 or d6 roll 2 dice, pick the highest.
Yep.
And
It was 2 sixes.
2 sixes.
Which
So
one did you pick?
you picked the 6.
I picked the 6.
That dropped him, and then all of these warriors, since the Triarch Stalker shot in, they're able to re-roll 1s to hit, and they
with the Mephra Dynasty of the additional.
the -2 AP. They all shot in, taking him all the way down to 2 wounds. 10 warriors with those buffs.
That was pretty nice.
They can do some work. And then the poor Cryptek shot in with his Staff of Light, and his Staff of Light was a little dim.
A little bit, yeah. He needed new batteries.
Yep, it did not. It failed to wound. So that is it, and we're going into assaults. Necrons turn 3 assault. The Lich Guard made their charge into the Primaris squad with only a 6-inch charge. I fired Overwatch, but you made all your saves, of course. And the Lich Guard swung into the Primaris, killing off 1 and leaving 1 on a wound. And then I heroically intervened with my Watchmaster, and he was able to take 1 down to a wound, and the Primaris killed 1 off. So all in all, it could have been worse for me, but it was a decent trade-off. Oh yeah. So over on this side of the board, do we?
Yes, we do.
The bravest Redemptor in the history of Redempting? Yeah, the Triarch Stalker decided to turn around and charge, and he made it. With all of the Overwatch from the Redemptor, you only had to make 1 armor save, and of course you did. So he got into close combat, and the Redemptor, on 2 wounds left, he let 1 wound through, and it's D3 wounds, and he rolled a 2. He had 2 wounds left. He was done. He did not explode, but
Impressed with the Stalker.
I would be impressed with the Stalker. I think he did a very good job. Plus, you really pulled off some good synergies over here to whittle that Redemptor down. Deathwatch, turn 3 movement. Well, I moved my frag cannon up on this objective. I moved my watch captain over here, and the reason I'm not assaulting them is they have the fly keyword, and so if he draws me up here, and he leaves assault next turn, he'll score both of my objectives here, getting close to winning the game. So I've got to get the most out of those poor guys as I can. And over on this side, I've got the Aggressor in my Primaris squad here, which allows them with assault weapons to ignore, so they can advance and ignore the penalty for shooting assault weapons after advancing. So I ran 4 inches, which was just enough to get me within this objective. So that one is gone at the end of my movement phase, and I can still fire my guns onto his last objective here, which is very important. And on this side, we're still locked in close combat. Turn 3 Deathwatch shooting, this Primaris squad opened up, killing off 7 of the 10, which is pretty good. The Aggressor couldn't shoot though because he had to run with the squad, and oh, that's nothing happened there. But over here, the frag cannon, I went for that darn frag round, which is that 8-inch flamer shot, 2d6. Only taking a wound, but it killed a guy. And then I used the master-crafted bolt gun on him. I used the Hellfire round, which wounds on 2s, and it's a -1 AP and a flat 2 damage. So I actually took 2 wounds off of him. So that's a pretty useful, using those rounds on a master-crafted bolt gun. Kind of works out. And that is it. Let's see what we can do in Assault. Deathwatch turn 3 assault, the only assault we have on the board. I was able to actually kill off 2 of the Lich Guard, and you killed off, well, you put 2 wounds back in, so you killed off 1 and transferred the wound over to here for him. So all in all, that Watchmaster is holding his own there. Going into turn 4 Necrons. Necrons turn 4 movement.
Animation protocols could have gone better.
They really could have. You only managed, well, you burned a command point.
To reroll 1s,
for your reanimation, and with the Cryptek nearby, so you were
4s.
Reanimating on 4s, rerolling 1s, and
a lot of 2s.
You only managed to bring
quite a lot of 2s.
2 guys back.
Yeah.
But 2 is better than none, and you brought your Triarch Stalker up. And over here, You moved your Overlord up, and you camped your destroyers. They didn't move, so that's it. Necron's turn 4 shooting. Well, the Triarch shot in with his heat ray. He's only in range to do the focused shot, killing, essentially vaporizing one immediately. Rapid fire shots in from the Warriors and the Staff of Light from the Cryptek ended up killing off another 2 and putting a wound on that guy. So a total of 3 dead and 1 on 1 wound left out of that squad.
3.5.
Yeah, 3.5. And over here, the this destroyer shot in, vaporizing the poor frag cannon. But then the heavy destroyer shot in on the watch captain, and you rolled a 2 to, or you failed to wound. No, you failed to shoot.
I rolled a 2 to hit.
And then you command pointed it, and you rolled a 2 again. So he's still alive.
Yep.
And that is it for Necron shooting. Needed a little bit more, I think, turn 4, but still another turn to go. Turn 4, Necron's assault. The Lord swung in, taking 2 wounds off of my Watchmaster, and the Lich Guard swung into my Primaris, killing off another one and transferring a wound over, so putting 2 wounds in. So I have 1 Primaris guy left there. And that is it. Oh, I swung back with my Watchmaster into the Lord and took a wound off. And this last guy here swung into your Lich Guard and you made your saves. Deathwatch turn 4 movement and shooting. Well, the only movement was I moved my Primaris squad up here. And then they opened up on the 5 remaining Necron warriors, killing them off, clearing them off the objective. And over on this side, this watch captain actually, with his mastercrafted bolt rifle, pretty handy.
Oh yeah, he blew stuff up.
He, that flat 2 damage, so he put 2 through, killing off one of the destroyers and putting a flat 2 wounds on the other one. So he alone is dealing with the destroyers. You might need to do something about that, Tim.
We're gonna just say I roll 6s on all my reanimations.
No, I don't think we are.
Come on.
So, and then of course this is locked over here. So going into assaults. Deathwatch turn 4 assault. I swung with my last Primaris into your Lich Guard. He failed to, or you made your armor save. And then they swung back into him, killing him off. I swung with my Watchmaster into your Overlord, killing him off with 4 wounds getting through. And that is it for assault. So we're still locked there on this objective. Necron's turn 5 movement. Tim, you tried to reanimate some stuff, and you desperately needed to reanimate stuff.
Yeah.
But you didn't. There was nothing. But for movement, your destroyer moved over here, popped onto this objective, which now
is burned.
Burns that at the movement. And over here, your Lich Guard now scoring this one, burn that as well. And over to this side, you moved up your Triarch Stalker and your Cryptek onto the Primaris squad, and you're sitting on your objective there. So let's see what happens. Hopefully some good shooting.
Hopefully.
Turn 5, Tim, shooting. Your dice have turned on you.
They did.
The Triarch, you did the disperse shot, so it's heavy 2d6, and you rolled a what?
3.
Ah, yeah. I know how that feels. It's called frag cannons.
Yep.
So you didn't kill anybody off of that.
No, I did not.
But the Staff of Light was able to kill one of the Primaris off there. And then over here, Tim, the Heavy Destroyer.
Who rerolls 1s, hits on 3s.
He
rolled a 2.
Yeah, of course he rolled a 2.
Of course.
And you're out of command points, so no rerolls for that. That was the Necron shooting phase.
Yep.
We need some assaults out of you. Turn 5 Necron assaults. The Lich Guard here swung in, taking the Watchmaster down to 1 wound, and in return, you paid them back with killing them off. And then way over here, wow, Tim, you couldn't have rolled worse.
No, I could not.
The Triarch Stalker failed to harm, and the Cryptek failed
Yep.
to injure, right?
On the upside, you didn't kill me either.
Right. I did swing back into the. Yeah, I put the aggressor into the Triarch Stalker, and I put the rest of the squad into the Cryptek, and I was able to take 2 wounds off your Cryptek, and I took
1 from Overwatch and 3 from the Power Fist.
Yep. So, all in all, wow. It could have.
Still stalling.
You're still stalling. Let's see what we can do here. Turn 5 Deathwatch, or what is left of either of our armies, at 1,000. It's crazy. I ran my Watchmaster because there isn't really much else for him to do but try and get close to this. And I moved my Watch Captain up. He shot, and he wounded twice, and you saved twice, which was really important there.
Yeah, it was.
And over here, we're just locked in assault. Deathwatch, turn 5, assault. The Watch Captain made it over the pipe into the destroyer. You failed to overwatch. You rolled a 5. It was close.
It was close, very close.
But I equipped him with a Relic Blade, and that had no trouble slicing through the last destroyer there.
He went poof.
And on this side of the board, I split my attacks again. I put my aggressor into the Stalker, taking off a wound, and I put the rest of my squad into the Cryptek, killing him off. And that is it. At the end of 5, when the game ends, you're still sitting on your objective, just hilarious.
Still have one of yours.
And I've still got one of mine. Yeah, 1,000 points. We just beat each other's armies up,
Yes,
and it was really neat seeing some of the stratagems.
Very, very cool moments in this.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that game. That was really cool. Thanks a ton, Tim, and I'll see you back at 1,250 points.
Yeah.